Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, people of the tube. Hope you're well today, and welcome to another video of how many tones can you get out of one amplifier. Today we are doing Mr. Mark Knopfler, and the reason we're doing Mark Knopfler is because I just stumbled across his sound when I was playing this guitar through the Orange CR120 one day. I just plugged it in, I went into position 2 on the Strat, out of phase, both those pickups on, and I was like, hang on a minute, that sounds like Mark Knopfler. So I recorded it, compared it, and I was like, oh my god, it really does sound like Mark Knopfler. So that's why we're doing him today, and we're doing somebody else, hopefully next week, fingers crossed. Background on Mr. Mark Knopfler's stuff, of what he used. He's kind of renowned really for kind of using a red Strat, hence why I've got my Fiesta red Strat here today. Single coil pickups. He started out with a Hofner Super Solid. It's kind of like, it looks like a Strat. It's just a very, very, very cheap kind of copy, because I think when he was coming up, you know, either he couldn't afford it, or by that point they weren't shipping Fenders in to the UK, probably, because there was an embargo on it. So he started off with a Hofner, Super Solid from 1962, I think. I think 62, yeah. And then he got his first Strat later on, which had a rosewood neck like this, and it was a 61. And rumour has it that that was originally stripped. It was kind of like, you know, the finish had been taken off, and it was just like the bare wood. And Mark himself refinished it in red to look like Hank Marvin's Strat. But I always feel that he refinished it in more of a Dakota red, not really a Fiesta red. It looks a lot more kind of like, you know, real deep red instead of like, you know, kind of like a luminous red like Fiesta red is. So that was kind of like another Strat. Another one he had was a 62 Fiesta red Strat with a maple neck, which later turned out to be not all original. Some of it had been replaced apparently with Japanese parts. I think it was John Sir who took it apart and found that some of the parts were Japanese, from a Japanese Fender copy. Apparently after Mark Knopfler found out about that, he stopped using it so much and something like that, I don't know. But he's had Telecasters, he used Schecter Strats in the 80s, Les Pauls, he owns a 59, a 58, and for the Brothers in Arms album and tour, he used a 59 reissue. He also used a guitar called a Pensa, which is a guitar he designed with, I think his name is Rudy Pensa from New York, and that was kind of like a combination between like a Strat and a Les Paul, kind of like morphed together in the same way as Eddie Van Halen's kind of Franken Strat. And he also had a National resonator to do the Romeo and Juliet kind of thing on it, and he played a resonator before he even played electric. I think he played acoustic before he even played electric. So they're the kind of guitars. Amp wise, there was Fender Vibroluxes, Fender Twins, Roland Jazz Choruses, Music Man Mesa Boogie. The Money for Nothing tone and the Brothers in Arms tone apparently is a Marshall JTM 45. Again, I can only go on what I've read and what I've found out. Currently, what I've seen him use is these Reinhardt amps. They kind of look like Marshall Plexis, but they're like really small, really, really tiny. I think they're only like 30 watts or something like that. And he uses them a lot now. And he's got red Marshall caps to kind of go with the red and white heads he's got, and they look really, really cool. And I've also seen with another amp, I can't remember what it's called. It's like called a Tone King Imperial, I think, or something like that. It's a blue kind of combo amp, and it's just like super clean kind of amp. Pedals, not a great deal on pedals really. He had a volume pedal, a wah-wah pedal for the Money for Nothing sound. That's about it really. He uses overdrive, but I think the overdrive comes from his amps. And possibly a compressor for the Sultans of Swing sound, but I highly doubt that. It sounds just like a Fender amp to me, kind of compressing at loud volumes. So, what am I doing today? I've got my Fiesta Red Strat, and I'm just going to pretty much stick solely in position 2. So that's both those pickups on, and that's that. So let me show you what I've done to the amp. Okay, so clean channel. First off, the volume is on 10, bass is on 4, and treble is on 2. So it's a fairly kind of, it's a snappy clean sound, but it's a very kind of fat, clean sound, so I say. It's very, very big and very, very kind of like loud and fairly compressed kind of sound. It's really nice kind of sound. So moving along to the overdrive channel, well, the dirty channel. What I've set the dirty channel up to do is imitate the money for nothing sound, and I'll talk about it in a minute of how why I'm doing this and how I get a kind of sound. But I've got a gain set to 5, the bass and the treble are on 0, the mid is all the way up on 10, and volume is back down to 8. So that's kind of like the money for nothing channel today, so to say, because I think that's one of his iconic sounds. So this is kind of like set for like the Sultans of Swing kind of sound and a basic Knopflerism, and then this is kind of like the money for nothing kind of sound. And you can also get kind of like the Brothers in Arms tone out of this. I've got the reverb set on 2, just to give it a bit of kind of a bit of space, and the volume is just over. It's a fair. I've got this kind of like it's set quieter than it normally is, so it's just over 2 the volume is, and I'm on the spring reverb. So that's the EQ. Let's say kind of basic kind of clean kind of Mark Knopfler sound. Money for nothing sound, and I say reverb just to like to give it some space, and also talk about the reverb again in a minute. So let's show you what it sounds like. Okay, so what does it sound like? Well, let me show you. Position 2, both pickups on at the back, volumes, tones all the way up, gives you a sound. To me that sounds really close. It's just got that real kind of snap, but it's fat at the same time. It's not kind of like whisper thin. But I'll tell you what, and also that's the thing, you don't need any plectrums. No plectrums involved, so these things need to go. All in your fingers. Mark actually plays really far back. I can't do that. I don't like the tension of the strings back there, so I play a bit further forward, which does change the sound. Especially doing that kind of... If I do it there where I normally do it, and then do it where he does it, you kind of hear it's got a bit more snap and a bit more kind of brightness to it. But I say it's kind of like I'm more comfortable further forward, but I am trying. So it gives you that kind of sound, and it's just a really kind of nice sound. I know that's on a resonator, but you kind of get the idea. Playing with your fingers gives you the ability to do things you can't normally do with a plectrum. You can do these kind of like stuttery, stammery things that he does, kind of like... Which is a very kind of country chicken picking-y kind of thing, which is really, really cool. So, that's that. You can also, if I go to the neck pickup actually, I can kind of get the Brothers in Arms kind of tone. Cool. And if I want to get really epic and turn the reverb up to 6, just to simulate big stadiums, and also you can do like, you know, fading. Use the volume pedal for that one, but I say you can use the volume on the Strat. It's really it's right there. So moving on to the money for nothing sound on the Dirty channel. This was just a happy accident as well. Turn the tone down on these two pickups. So technically it's the tone for this pickup, but it works in the out of phase. So I've turned the tone all the way off now, volume all the way up, going to the gain channel on the EQ I showed you, and it kind of gives you this kind of pseudo wah sound. So it kind of like simulates that kind of like half-cocked wah thing just by turning the tone down and having a super bright sound. So this is what it sounds like on the Dirty channel without the tone down. So it's super bright, and it basically just using the tone control as like the wah sweep, so to say. Then you kind of hear it. Gives you a fairly big sweep, so it kind of gives you a half-cocked kind of sound, which is really cool. So, anyway, let me know what you think as usual. Let me know what you hear. Hopefully it translates really well to YouTube, because I feel that is really, really close. And I say, I don't know, it's a really nice sound. Really clean as well. If you make a mistake, you've had it. It's as simple as that, really. So, hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, cool. I really like the sound, really nice. I just want to let you know that I'm on Periscope now, if you're interested. Look for Dave Simpson and you'll find me on there. And I'll be doing like, you know, live streaming kind of Q&A sessions on there, as well as I'll be doing it on here at some point as well on YouTube. So, anyway, have a great morning, afternoon and evening, and I will see you again for another video. Goodbye now, have a great day.